happens is we leave home and we become single. Or that's what the figures show. There is the rise of the singleton generation. If you think about Bridget Jones, endlessly becoming, trying to become in a partnership, but they're never quite working. And singles are actually a huge economic focus for many companies. So this is people, the difference between being single and not. I like the idea of being contactable at all times. People who are single, 64% agree with that. People who are married, 41%. I never turn my mobile phone off. 54% of singles say that, 34% of married people. So singles are a completely different way of a lifestyle, and it is a different lifestyle. I'm very tempted to ask if anyone here has tried online dating, but I think I won't, to spare your blushes. But the internet has brought about the rise of a huge and much easier way to have online dating for people. Because in this world in which actually looking for that perfect partner seems to become a much larger part, a much longer part of our lives than it was a generation ago. If you go back something 100 years, if people weren't married by the age of 25, that was considered a really bad thing. Now, actually people are maybe extending that period up to the age of 35 or 40. So online dating becomes particularly important. And just in case you forget, singles aren't taking over. Look at this. If you go back to 1971, there are about 3 million households that had one person living in them. We're now up to 6 million, and we're going to get to 10 million by about 2031. And that's going to be less than the number of houses with couples in them. Okay? And there's some others like cohabiting or on the crease, but it's single-person households of all ages, above and below pension age. But it is absolutely not just about people who are getting into older age whose partners have died. So how do you get one of those single-person households people to start volunteering? What is it? And that's what we're going to talk about before the end. But actually, you guys need to think about it way more than me. So, how are young people and singles different? If you want to get these people volunteering, what do you need to do? Well, let's have a look at this. So this is a chart. I like to follow the latest fashion trends, okay? And you've got a percentage of people agreeing with that. And what you see here is the 15 to 24-year-olds definitely say that. And bizarrely enough, 55 to 64 really not that interested in the latest fashion trends. Quite shocking. But single people as well here also wanting to follow the latest fashion trends. Females more than men. But it is a young person's and a single person's thing. Fashion trends. How fashionable is your volunteering, dare I ask? This is one about financial institutions. I usually trust the advice given by financial institutions. Singles say, yep, I do. Young people say, yep, I do. 45 to 54s are spending their time poring over which endlessly to find the best financial deal, whereas their children are going, oh, sod it, I'll just get one of them. So, you know, they're not spending all of that single time going, oh, I must find the best ISA. Quite extraordinary. Sharing shopping tips and ideas through social networking sites would make shopping more fun or interesting. I suspect some of the people have actually no idea what this might mean in practice. So not very many 55 to 64-year-olds go in, yes, that's me. It's 15 to 24, yes, 60% of 15 to 24 wanted to share shopping tips and ideas through social networking sites. Singles definitely as well. So the use of social networking. One of the questions is, how does your organization use social networking to engage people in volunteering? How can you wheedle your way in to be sharing shopping tips and volunteering tips at the same time? I do whatever I can to make myself look better. For men, that's just a lot less likely to happen. Some of you, as my wife will tell you, knew that already. And what you can also see is that it's pretty age-related. Men dropping off far more than women are dropping off. It stabilizes about the age of 25. Yeah, it's important to try and look good. But again, young people in particular wanting to look good. And the number of leisure activities each month. So again, by age, number of leisure activities from a list of 11. Young people really likely to do the most, and again, very age-related, quite social class related, not really much about gender. So what you've got here is young people are doing the most leisure activities, 5 or 6. They get presented with a list of, have you been out for a meal with friends, have you been to the cinema, have you gone for a short break, and so on. And then I need new experiences. Okay? So what you're building up is a picture here of young people who want a whole range of things in life. They want excitement, they want new, different things, they want those new experiences. And you can see here, young people, 80–90% are wanting new experiences. And let's face it, by the time you get to 65, you do want new experiences, but not quite as many as you did when you were 16 to 24. So all of those kind of things suggesting actually people want a whole range of things. And young people in particular are being driven by, I want new experiences, I want leisure activities, I want to go shopping and share tips with friends and so on. I can often lose track of how much I spend when paying by card. Extraordinarily high for 16 to 24-year-olds. 50% of them say, yeah, I've done that. Very few older people and very much age-related. And then what you've got here is the frequency of socializing, and you can see every day, or nearly every day, the 16 to 24s as well. So young people and single people have very different lives, and in particular the 16 to 24s, but actually the 25 to 34s aren't that much different either. Now the interesting bit is, where does the internet come into this? We all tend to have internet into our homes. Almost all of us, not all of us, but the vast majority of people. It's not particularly age-related. You can see, yes, older people, but up to the age of about 55, most people now have some kind of broadband access. What is changing is how we consume that information. So, whereas what you have at the age of 65, and this blue band here is TV, that's what you get, people get from TV, a teeny amount get it from the internet, or it's from radio, or it's from newspapers. You can see for people under the age of 35, they're getting that information much more, the yellow bar here, from the internet. And you can see an absolute change. The under 35s are the internet generation, and the over 35s are not nearly as much. And TV is a massive difference. And indeed, what we're going to see is TV increasingly on the way out. If you look at the success, why do people like the internet? Because they can look at every article, they can read the teeniest bits, they can get bite-sized chunks of their lives. We are all, certainly people under the age of 35, are now in a butterfly world, where life is full of lots of teeny bits of information coming through. And we multitask in the most extraordinary way. One of the things that drives me mad is when my kids demand to talk to their friends on Facebook at the same time as watching their favourite TV programme. We live in a multitasking world in which we don't sit down and watch Downton Abbey non-stop. And indeed, live TV is almost going to be extinct soon, because we record it on Sky Plus, we watch it back on iPlayer or 4 on demand or whatever. So the world is increasingly exactly what we want the worlds to be. We make it our own. We customize our mobile phone ringtones, we customize the picture we have on them, and we customize the way Facebook is for us, and we customize almost every aspect of our life. We have our own playlists. We don't even take CDs and play them from the first track to the last, as we used to do. We have a playlist and we play the songs we want. We are utterly used to making the world our own. And yet when we come to volunteering, the organisation says, now we want you from 9 to 12 on a Tuesday. Well, somehow being told when you're under the age of 35 and everything else in your life is exactly the way you want it to be, your shopping, your Facebook page, all of those things you can customize, you're being asked to do something for free, and apparently you have to do it on their terms, not your terms. We are totally used to doing things on our terms. Okay. I'm less loyal to companies now than I was previously. The flip side of all of this is that young people are increasingly happy to be loyal to companies. So whereas older people are going, no, I did switch my gas or electricity account, I did switch my bank account. Young people don't switch those kind of things. They stay loyal. And there are markedly loyal, and particularly to some really big brands, the Googles and the Facebooks, and the New Looks and whoever else it may be. However, they're really not that interested in the environment. It's disappointing to say, but a lot less interest. It's got better, but you can see the 55 to 64s are the most interested. Young people are a little less interested than the rest of us.